Good morning. I got out pretty early. I only had one today, which is pathetic, I guess. I need to be focusing more on marketing. But I wanted to get it done and get home and do some shop stuff. And it was 10 miles out, basically. So I come out and did it, and then I drive all the way home, and I'm backing in my driveway. And another customer that just calls me once in a while texts, and she wants hers done, and it was only about 8 blocks from where I was just at. So I had to drive another 10 miles out and 10 miles back. I don't know if anybody else ever has that problem. It just burns you, it puts the whole day in a different mood. But it's just this little dinky yard too. Let me turn around and show you. So it's tiny. But it was the scenario was, oh, I've got company coming and need it done. Sorry, I didn't tell you sooner. What can you do? You got to do what you got to do. So I came back out, but it isn't all bad news. As I was coming out, I found something pretty cool on the street. I don't know if any of you ever ran these things, but they were cool back in the day. They were like the Kirby vacuum of. This was like. The difference between a Kirby and a regular vacuum is like this and a regular mower. The way these things worked with the 2-stroke and the way the discharge is on the regular mowers back then I was a kid, you'd push forward a little bit and then you'd have to wait for the engine to catch up and it'd clump and everything. Well, these ones, when the first part of the blade's hitting the grass and it immediately spits it out. So these were awesome for tall lawns, overgrown. And they got this thing is like old school. Look at the chrome handlebar. Does anybody even take the time now chrome plate these? They're mostly just painted steel. And then this is the engagement for the drive, and it kicks in these rollers against the tires, and look how good the tires are. So those have been replaced, or this thing hasn't been ran hardly at all. So I'll probably try to see if I can get it running, but I think it's just cool because these were the ones to have when I was a kid on push mowing, which I don't like push mowing, but if you got to, then these were the fun ones to use. Now I think the nice ones are as push mowers would be the Toro Time Master 30s. Well, I'm gonna get back to the house and try to get some shop work done, so I'll catch you later. I'm getting rid of the still. It's a great weed eater, but I've got what I need with the Echoes, with the Ryobi split shafts on them. This one's really nice though. I was keeping it around for a backup, but I wasn't running it often enough. It's the Still FS 111RX. Super light, super powerful. But I got a buddy that would be able to use it more than I can. It sits too long with me, and I'm just going to let it go then. But one thing is, on my machines, I always switch out the grease plug for a grease zerk, so I can just grease them with the grease gun. But with Still, theirs is a little bit off, so I'm going to put the factory plug back in it so that it's reliable for him, because the greaser was falling out. I probably could have doped it up with a bunch of Loctite and it would have stuck, but I'd rather give it back to him pretty much in factory. And by the way, another trick is every time I do convert them to the greasers, I put my factory caps in here. This one here would be that's a Ryobi, and they're a smaller size, and they directly correlate to one of the sizes of the grease zerks, because I grease mine about every other day or every third day. And I'll walk over here and show you. So on the Ryobis, So I just got a greaser on there, and I'll just pump it until it starts squirting out like back here. And I grease them regular that way with the same grease I use on the mowers. And then here's the same thing on the on the edger. So anyway, that works for me. So y'all might want to consider putting a grease zert there if you can put it on there. I don't know about echoes, but I know the still, it's hard to get one that's exactly right. You probably have to just Loctite it on there real good. All right, I'm gonna get into getting this ready for him, and then I'm gonna work on the LAWNBOY. Catch you later. So I got that mower from the side of the street, and I'm gonna start working on it. I noticed the spark plug wire was disconnected, and also the fuel line was completely gone. So I'm gonna see what was going on with it. See if I can get it fixed here. Okay, so this is, and when I noticed too, the fuel line was gone. When I turned the fuel on, it was barely running. So I gotta try to, I did put some gas in there, but you can see it's barely coming out. So I'm gonna try taking these I'm gonna try taking those clips off of here, drop the valve out of the petcock, and see if I can see what's going on there. Let me turn this off for a second because I probably can't do it one-handed. So I got the retaining ring started off here. I've never done one of these before, but maybe we'll figure it out. I don't see anything dirty there that would keep it from flowing fuel. I don't understand why. It might have dirt in the bottom of the tank. Whoops, I just lost that. I heard it hit the ground. Washer, and I got it cleaned out and back together where now it runs a pretty good stream. So, and in the meantime, because I couldn't find the washer at first, so I had to just do something else until it showed up. And then while I was trying to do something different, I hooked up a temporary tank, and I couldn't get no fuel, couldn't get nothing. So then I was wondering if it got spark, and at first I was thinking that maybe the throw wasn't adjusted right. I put a screwdriver in there, but that didn't work because there's also a brake, a mechanical brake on it, that if you don't pull the thing, the handle, it holds the motor physically from being turned over. So then in lieu of that, what I did to make sure I'm getting spark is I just disconnected the wire from the coil. So that's your kill wire. So without the kill wire, you don't have to worry about that switch at all. So I had the kill wire off, and then with that auxiliary tank hooked up, it wouldn't run still. And I sprayed a little starting fluid in it. But I don't want to run it very much with starting fluid because this is a 2-stroke and it has to have cylinder lubrication from the fuel. But just to see if the engine was good and all, I you know it. So it just run a little bit like that, but it tells me that the compression is good, spark plug's good, and everything. So now I'm down to taking the carburetor apart and cleaning it, because it's probably clogged up where fuel's not coming through the carb. So, and then it'll probably be a good mower. So I'll get that tore apart and then get back to you. What I thought were worth mentioning is that this is the air filter. So it looks like somebody never really cleaned it. Might have been one of them cases, like so many, where mower gets bought brand new, never gets service of any kind, run it until it don't run, and discard. So in that case, it might have very few hours before it got choked out on air and couldn't get enough air to run, hopefully. But another cool thing is that it has the air governor. It doesn't have the inertia governor. It's governed apparently by airflow when the hat's on here. So that's interesting. I know I always liked the way these operated as far as their governor. It seems like they always would respond real quickly to load. So when you got into heavy grass, it would speed up on its own really quickly. The way these operated was really cool. Alright, I'm going to get on into tearing at the carb apart and we'll go from there. The hose was really hard from the primer bulb, and it's cool. This carburetor is cool the way that primer bulb is. You can just take off the one bolt and then the whole assembly comes. You don't have to open the carb at all. It just goes over to the bottom of the bowl. But you can see it's completely plugged up, so you could have pumped that primer bulb all you wanted. It's plugged all the way here, all the way there, so I'm gonna have to clean that out. And I haven't opened this up yet. Let's see if I can get the carburetor itself opened up. Oh yes, it's full of nasty. So I'm gonna have to clean all that up, and it'll probably run, but I may go on Amazon and see if I can find a new primer bulb assembly, because the hose is rock hard. And you know, earlier I was saying that a lot of these mowers, they get ran until they drop and then they don't service them. The LAWNBOY is not really designed that way. It's designed to be a longevity, long-lasting machine. You can tell with the quality of all the parts when you go to pull it apart. It's not made like these other ones. So the threads and everything are real good on the materials. You can just tell the difference in the quality. All right, I'm going to tear this one apart, see what happens. I got the needle valve point out. It's cleaned. It was in good condition, real good condition actually. And the float, it doesn't have any fluid in it or anything. So what it looked like was water contamination in this carburetor. But you can just, here again, the quality of the parts, the bowl cleans up real nice. This modern stuff won't. I got that cleaned out, and I hope there wasn't some kind of little micro check valve or something in there. It was so gummed up I couldn't tell. I just had to run a small drill bit in there and then blow it out with some carb cleaner. And then now I gotta go towards cleaning out the jets. And then if this gasket's still good, which That's a problem a lot of times, and the shops never have them. It's hard to get these bowl gaskets. Then it technically could run today, but we'll see. So I cleaned it out. I got always wear safety glasses, because when you're running these aerosol carb cleaners, they blast back in your face all the time. I took off the bowl gasket. It's kind of hard, but it might work. But I didn't make it more hard by getting carb cleaner on it. And I used a needle off of a wire brush. I just pulled the strand out to clean out the jets. And I can blow through this one, it comes out here, and I can blow through those and see them come out. One of them into the throttle body. The other one I'm pretty sure is clear. So it's just a matter of putting it back together. So I'm gonna put the needle on the float and put the float right here. And then put the float retaining pin. Oops. And put the bowl on. It's all cleaned up. With the ethanol and everything today, though, I have problems with the seals up here, and at the top edge. And with the way people are on wanting to stock items, you know, it's hard to get stuff. As of, for instance, I was running Husqvarna titanium line, and I was buying it at Lowe's, and they had an empty spot on the shelf for it. So back last year in September, I started telling them, "Hey, I need this line. I'm getting low." I told them probably half a dozen times over the course of 3 months. They never restocked that position. They told me, "No problem, we'll have it in no time. It's, you know, we'll be filling that spot." Finally, I had to just order it off Amazon. So it's like these people that complain that Amazon puts them out of business. Maybe it's not Amazon putting them out of business. Maybe they're putting themselves out of business. You know, because that's not something you can just do without. When you need the string trimmer line, you need string trimmer line. So all right, now it's getting a little technical, so let me get this done and I'll see what happens. So it's running a little bit, but it needs more work. I had it carb apart about 10 times before I got it to working that good. I think it maybe needs a new spark plug, but it's the aluminum deck. I thought it was magnesium, but it's aluminum. 2-stroke, self-propelled LAWNBOY. It's old school. I'm probably could keep fooling around with it. I like 2-stroke stuff. So that's that. I'm gonna move on to something else because this took up a bit more time than I figured. I think somebody might have the wrong float and needle in it, because every time I take the bowl apart, there's hardly any fuel in there. So I don't know. I'll keep monkeying with it when I get time, and we'll see what happens. I'll be back. So hopping in this truck to go dump all that BS from yesterday. Sticking out pretty good, both sides, way high. Trying to get it over to the fire pit. It's not a big deal, it's just I hate doing this stuff if it don't pay enough. I'd rather be mowing. So, and then of course it's still not done, because then it's not complete until you burn it, right? That, or you can go spend your money at the dump and spend twice as much as what you're getting paid. So I'll see if I can get it over there without getting the ticket. Catch you later. Burn pit that I made, that I showed on earlier videos. Don't know how long the battery's gonna last. See if we can get this dumped. See, it's lifting like there ain't nothing in it, because really there isn't that brush. It's just fluffy. What I should have done was, one of the times I was over there with the Bobcat, I should have just ran over this pile with the Bobcat a couple times. Of course, then you take a chance of getting a stick or something up in your undercarriage and having a big problem to deal with. But the ultimate solution is the chipper, but I'm not gonna do that, because if you get a chipper, you don't want to fool with one of them little homeowner grade ones. You want one that's got the end feed, it pulls it in. I've had the little ones, they're not worth fooling with. So and on dump trailers, I do not like that door. Mine doesn't have the barn doors. So when I open this, if I park too close to that tree, I can't open it and latch it in the open position. When I pull out, it sticks out a little bit. It's just a pain. You want the center opening doors. Then you gotta pull this forward to get the brush to empty out. But if you ever forget and leave that door open too, or you don't get it latched right, and you go ahead and dump, oh, you'll mess it up big time. I already know this. I spent several hours with a torch trying to get that door and hinges straightened back out. See, right now you can't see it maybe in my mirror. That door is about to hit that tree. So that's a royal pain. Look at all that, baby little pile. All that paint in the rear for that little baby pile. It's I don't know. I'm just an efficiency guy. I can't stand inefficiency. This is not efficient. Now, I don't know which way to go on dump trailers. You can view the hydraulic up and hydraulic down. This is gravity down. The nice thing about gravity down is it doesn't use any battery. I don't know what the advantage would be with hydraulic down unless you were backed into a real steep slope past the balance point. But this is the first dump trailer I've ever owned. Of course, it was secondhand. But this is not like a brush dump trailer. It's got 8 lugs, electric brakes, semi tires. That was somebody put on. It didn't come like that. But I use it for hauling rock, and I commonly haul, 12,000 pounds or more. One time they overloaded me and had 8 tons in here. And I pulled it up out of the quarry, that steep hill, with that stick shift dodge. And I'm telling you, I almost didn't make it. That thing was roaring all the way up the canyon. And you can't really see, when I went in the quarry the other day on that one video, how steep it is, but man, it's steep. In fact, this truck coming up out of the quarry the other day started spinning, and I had to put it in 4 low. But that's because this truck is geared differently than the stick shift. All right, I gotta go. Talk to you later.